and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. I'm African, and I'll move from 90% to right now. I think we are 25%. Yeah, 1/8 for now. 1/8 is no. Yes, that's 12.5%, 12.5%, because 2/8 will now be 25%. That's the maximum that we can go now. If we can get, if Morocco is already there, Egypt, Pharaohs, do us this favor. It's not let my people go now. It's let my people enter. Pharaohs, let my people qualify. It's been a fantastic World Cup. It's been a World Cup of revelation, a World Cup of excitement, a World Cup of controversies. I mean, I think there have been more controversies before the games, the tournament started. But, you know, afterwards, it's been all surprises, all excitement. And then you ask yourself, can it get better? Can it get better? Cabo Verde. I'll call it Quebec. The surprise. Let me tell you this: they played 4 games. So they played 4, and they lost none. They lost none. Yes. You tell me, Ken, what is it they lost none? Because when you check, when FIFA tells you this, if at the end of 90 minutes it's all square, it's nobody win. They don't regard as a win for you. Because what happened is extra time and penalties. Those ones, okay, fine. It is just it. They played 4 games. They lost none. They played world champions, not one. Not oh my God. A tiny island, 250,000 or less, and then with a local part-time coach. He was the captain of the team. People talking about Bozia and other players. But seldom do we look at the bench and said, this man has tutored this team. This man that brought them from 10 different islands. Because before every game, you see the coach go around, you know, and exchange gift with the other managers. And you tell them, this is the island of this is the Boa Vista, this is, you know, explain all the island. I said, we are showcasing ourselves to the world. A lot of world-renowned sportsmen said, before this World Cup, they never knew a country like Cape Verde, you know, did exist. But right now, they will never forget. You see, from not knowing to never forgetting, that is impression. That is a lasting impression that they've done for Africa. We sent 10 teams to the World Cup, 9 scaled into the round of 32. Fantastic, the best performance by any, you know, confederation. You understand? Only Tunisians, ironically, the first ever African team to win a match at the World Cup. But that is history. That is how it turns. It is not what was yesterday. It is what is now that actually matters. The Tunisians, you know, went home. And before you knew it, it was, you know, a gallo. But Morocco were in the semifinals in Qatar, the first ever. I don't know, there'll be another one, Winter World Cup. They were in the semifinals. They defeated Spain. They defeated Portugal. So they didn't just get there. They lost to France, yes. And Croatia in the 3rd place match. But right now, history is about to repeat itself. But I don't know. I think I will ask Okpe. Okpe is in the house. Okpe Ajala, my partner, my friend, my colleague, any high order define that he's ever Mr. Reliable. Okpe is here. Okpe, how are you?
Thank you, Ken, for having me. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's that time FIFA just drew away with this unbeaten when you are not beating revelation. because the Dutch, who I actually tipped along England to win this World Cup, the last time we were beaten was in 2006 against Portugal, the Battle of
exactly.
So in 20 years, you've not been beating regulation time and you've not won the World Cup. So I think they should. But I think, as you said, the Cape Verde or Cabo Verde has become a Cinderella story, which is also built from consistency. In AFCON, they played 9 former champions in group stages, and they've never been beaten.
They've never been beaten?
And 6 of those champions are in this World Cup. So they've gone to the World Cup now. They play the South American champions, play European champions, play world champions, unbeaten. So, and of course, that is the team that fielded the oldest squad in the knockout stage of the World Cup ever. 31 years, 197 days average age. So a whole lot of things is going for that squad, and you can't take away and that is one thing modern day football lacks: consistency. It's more fire brigade approach. That is what we have now. But this is a team. They've been consistent, and it shows in what they've been doing.
Ben says consistency is that it is difficult to find a consistent team. You understand? Probably he's talking about Cape Verde, and they were looking at Morocco, and probably we're talking about France. Apart from those ones, I don't think there has been other countries. You understand? There has been that. I'm talking about Morocco at the continental level, at the global level.
Then, Ken, again, consistency in personnel and investment.
In personnel and investment.
Since the first started their NHF in Clairefontaine in the 90s, and yesterday I was forced to tell someone that, for me, I didn't see the 1954 team play for obvious biological reasons.
Yes.
But when I looked at their past record, Olympics, how they dismantled the Germans 7-2 or 8-2 in the group stage, scoring 2 goals. What Senegal did, they scored 2 goals in the final before losing 3-2.
Yes.
So I felt it was unfair that team never won the World Cup. But this French team in the quarterfinal, for me, would be the greatest team yet to win the World Cup. So complete.
Brazil 82.
Kent, I don't. I've said over and over again for a whole number of reasons, which of course I've also written about. I don't. Yes, a very decent squad. Yes, if you don't win the World Cup, what happens to the Copa America? So it's a team that wins they won nothing, if I may put it that way. A very talented squad,
yes.
A poetry in motion, a team that will always delights you, that every kid, every undiscerning kid will want to fathom themselves against and say, look, I want to be Eder, I want to be Faka, I want to be Kareka. But look at this.
I want to be Zico.
I want to be Zico, some places. But look at this French team. There are some shots they take, and the goalkeeper from nowhere just seems saving those balls. And yesterday something happened. I was saying, why not bring in Zado?
Yeah.
Because the guy can. I think
he can work in tight places.
Like all these 5-a-side. the guy lost like little corners.
No, call it monkey pose.
Yes. And the guy, man, how will you feel as an opponent? Bakula is coming out, Do is coming
in. I mean, those who didn't even make the squad can make some national teams.
I think we should give credit to also Didier Deschamps for what he has done for French football as a player, as captain, as manager. And
their lineups needing to take over from him. I don't know. Their lineups didn't take over from him, and also the Germans have said, "Look, Jurgen Klopp, you come in, come on." I guess we are saying he was not resigning. But then he gave.
Yeah, but of course, when they laid the cards before you, and for the Germans, up till I think they have Eric Liedel in the 90s. Yes. There was no German manager that never won a title. Whether you are winning the World Cup, you are winning the Euro Cup. So, till when Eric Liedel came, I think after he replaced Betty Vogts also. So from then, I don't think they've actually gotten it right. But so maybe perhaps
about Joachim Löw.
Yeah, Joachim Löw and Vogts got them, who was an assistant manager, got them to the final. So I think they too should go back to the investment they are making in the national team.
And then you guys brought, let me enjoy myself. You guys brought Betty Vogts to Nigeria.
Yes, he failed in Scotland, and he also failed because Betty Vogts was the first manager since our ill-fated defense of the AFCON in '82 that never got us to the semi-final. That never even got us to the third position. Don't let me say semi-final. So,
because our minimum used to be bronze then.
Yeah, we had the disastrous outing in Ghana and losing to Ghana in the quarterfinal. The team could have done better. So it was more of a disastrous outing for him here in Nigeria and over there in Scotland.
Before we leave the issue of coaches, there are stories that Algeria wants Eric Chil.
Yes.
The National Sport Commission told us that, look, we have given him a contract of $100,000 and stuff. I mean, I don't know, have they signed? Because, of course, remember it was Chair that first brought this $100,000, this is what he wants to earn together with himself and his crew. And we're debating, how is it possible for us to pay? But now the NS has said we are going to pay, and we're not hearing stories that Algeria, probably even Tunisia, that they want this man.
Yeah, I think the Tunisian angle has always been there, even proud to the World Cup. But I think it's for us to just be honest with ourselves. Let's do a soul searching and see actually is Erichel someone we can actually afford, because it's not enough to actually build castle in the air, and when you don't have those funds, I think you can just find a way of doing it.
But, this one, it was the NSC. But if I don't want to draw our attention on this show some 6, 7 years or 8 years ago on the budget of the Ministry of Sports, then you understand, and we look at how it was being allocated. We look at the various components in that particular budget. We look at the NSC. We look at NIS. We look at other and say what is remaining for the federations and stuff like that. And then we based on that one we fought here and said, look, let them get the sport away from youth and sport, because youth is guzzling over 90% of the budget and less than 10%.
NYSC.
Okay, NYSC. They just say, okay, NYSC itself, because even the other youths are still collecting some percentages. NYSC was getting about 93%, leaving 7% for other, for us to share. Okay, fine, good. But right now they've gone down. They moved from Ministry of Sports as an independent ministry to now as a reclusive commission, and then the budget, the billions have now started rolling in. So probably they have the money.
Yeah, Ken, we should also be mindful. In Naira terms,
yes,
we have the money.
Yeah.
Share will pay in dollars.
Yes.
And in dollar terms, I don't think...
$100,000 is how much, like, in Naira is how much?
We are looking about... 130-something million.
130-something million.
But some years back, before the devaluation, it will have, when it was around 400 and what, so it will have been, the Naira will have been sufficient. Yeah, you've taken out subsidy, you have more Naira in the system, but when you are paying someone in FCY, so that also creates another bottleneck for you. But again, as I said, we need to be serious. Can we afford? I think because it's better you go for what is affordable than what is available.
So we're talking about about 140 million or so?
Yes,
monthly. 140 million. Okay. I don't know. Probably
but sport is something, as I said, when you have the consistent investment, sport is something that can do that payback.
Yes, because okay, we are if we leave it in dollars, that is about 1.2 million.
If we are qualified for the World Cup,
that's about 1.2. That's about 1.2 million annually. If we are qualified for the World Cup with a minimum of 15 million coming in by the Super Eagles, could have been able to pay him. But that is for another 4 years.
If we also had our clubs qualifying contributing players to the World Cup.
Yeah, okay, exactly. That is another avenue of where the money will come in. Because South African, clubs, a lot of them are Egyptian clubs, Moroccan clubs.
Otto Moses once played here, Edo Dancer once played here. So imagine that they made it to the Ghanaian squad. So that is also additional income for our clubs. So that means our clubs will only be able to compete against the Al Ahly of this world, against the TP Mazembe of this world. And during the World Cup, I was just going through some things for England, and I discovered that their manager in the 70s, Don Review, the guy actually coached Al Ahly in 1984. So the English national team manager coach. So that tells you the brand Al Ahly they actually built for themselves.
Because it is not just a football club; it is a sports club. That's why the SC. You understand? The Al Ahly, that is so.
Yeah, we have sport club in name.
In name. And we're taking you there. It's one of those days where we'll come in before the finals, because we're approaching the finals on the 19th of July. Today's already 12 days from now. It should be the World Cup final. That is, I mean, today is 5th, right?
Yes.
All right, we're going to 19th of July. Initially, I thought it was going to. I thought the final would be on a Sunday, but right now it's on a Tuesday. So basically,
American wonder. When you had the vice president complaining about the red card to Folarin Balogun, I just tell you what you just remind you of what the Kuwaiti prince did in 1982.
Yeah, when they walked in there and said, "Look,
should be
they said, look, this is not a goal. You guys couldn't do that."
Intolerance.
And then the referee reversed the decision.
But
that has been his last the last time he took up to the pitch.
Yeah, but this on Folarin Balogun, I think that record has come to stay in respect of what they said.
Yeah, just why it is a match ban. That means the USA he will miss the next game, and let us see what is going to happen. Okay, let us see what is, like we said. Morocco is into the quarterfinals. They were in the semi-finals last time, and also the French team are also right there. But today it will be Brazil taking on Norway, Brazil taking on, and Mexico taking on England. So those are the Brazil taking on Norway, and then Mexico taking on England. Bro.
Yeah, Brazil, Norway. I don't think any Brazilian is comfortable with the match.
four games without a win.
4 games without a win. But again, aside Alan Odegaard, I don't see the Norwegians actually causing more problems or trouble in that language for the Brazilians. In Carlos Ancelotti, this Norwegian side cannot shock the Brazilians.
They cannot shock
the Brazilians might not play this final, semi-final, but their bus stop won't be in the round of 16 with the Norwegians. I think that is my call on this match.
Just but then before, let us look at Mexico taking on England. Azteca. Say Mexico they don't lose in that stadium.
Yeah, unfortunately for the English Lions, you have the weather to contend against. You have the atmosphere to contend against. You have there was something about this earthquake happening and the match being shifted by 5 hours, which they actually will have the English will have favored the English team. But again, FIFA is saying no, let's stick with the 1 a.m. I remember Tuchel has said, let schools allow children to also watch this early morning match. But again, the English Lions, from the high of the opening match against Croatia, which have showed us what they can actually do on their day, I think this match will be a balanced match and could just take us to another penalty shootout.
A lot of another penalty shootout. We've seen the penalty shootouts and all these things. Okay, let me take you back a little bit now to the round of 32. The crashing out. I mean, we were expecting them to go. In fact, you talked about the West African teams, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal qualifying, all of them going on there, and then suddenly South Africa went out, and then everybody was just going out. But then Morocco, maintained that. What would have happened? Three African teams conceded at exactly the 86th minute. Is it a loss of concentration? Is it inexperience? Is it, you remember Westerhoff? I think it was the game I was watching, was it yesterday? At a point where we said they were just playing, they were shooting, say, give the ball to the crowd. The fans pay to come and watch. The only way is to disrupt. Don't play constructive game.
Yeah, 10 out of 48, that gives you like 20% of the workforce. So when you are 10 out of 32, that gives you like 25%, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So making it, again, the top place team, it's either I take the World Cup back to 32 or just make it 64. I don't see any reason for the top place team qualifying for the knockout stage. That sort of devalue the competition, because and that is why you can actually draw 3 matches and still qualify, or you win just a match and pray for your goals difference to ensure you qualify. Just the way I think the Senegalese, they qualify with a
3 points,
with 3 points. So for me, we had that element of luck. We had more teams qualifying as the top place team. So, but when it got to the round of 32, the traditional side, somewhere like Morocco, were expected to qualify. Senegal had no business losing that match to Belgium, because with due respect, that Belgian side was not the side of old. That Belgian side was just waiting for who to point the accusing fingers at, and the Senegalese, by virtue of their tactical substitution, boggled and the match. And that's why a player like Gueye is saying will never play for the Teranga Lions anymore till there is a change in the technical crew. So
is that not a kind of a disrespect to your manager? I mean, you're questioning his ability, and he took you down there and of course we saw that they have game against Sweden where they didn't do well, but they bounced back and then qualified, ahead. To come out openly, look, unless there is a personal disagreement, personal issue between that. But if it has to do probably in his competence, ability to to manage that team, don't you think it is a disrespect to the
I think
team?
For him it was more of a let form play over class. So for him, he felt.
Can he do that in his club?
Ken.
No, that's what I'm asking. Can he do that in his football club? Can he say in where he's playing that because my coach is not using me, until this point, I'm not going to do that?
Well, it's up to the player. You can say no. There is freedom of speech, and there is what happens after
your speech.
So for him, he could have said that anywhere, but again, you will get that fine, or you'll be put on the transfer market in his club. So, but I think the Senegalese were quite disappointing, not because of the manner they lost, but because they were better as a team than that Belgian, aging Belgian side. So, but again, it won't surprise you that the South Africans lost, because you have to know your level, and they were even there in the first system by the virtue that the Nigerian side were very no. The South African side qualified ahead of the Super Eagles.
Yes.
So, all things being equal.
Yes.
The Super Eagles had no business joining 5 matches. And that is why.
And then they now got a second chance. They got a reprieve against the Congo.
The South Africa also, when they were deducted 3 points for the infringement, the Super Eagles could still not take advantage. So they were there on their own merit.
And then the Super Eagles qualified by virtue of the tinkering of the rules.
So, but again, in a couple of African sides, the Cape Verde gave it their best, and you just look at it, it's like maybe CAF should invite Argentina for the next AFCON, because Argentina, they have been playing 3 African sides. And then they played Algeria, they played Cape Verde, and the Pharaohs of Egypt are actually waiting for them. But again, the Egyptians, just like the Bulgarians, who up to 1994 never won a match and made it all the way to the
not just never even won a match. We beat them 3-0.
Even 94, when the G's still continue against Nigeria, and from their next match against Argentina, before Greece, they went all the way to
the semi-finals.
The Egyptians could just replay that same scenario, because I don't think the Argentines would be a handful for them. They've showed that when you attack the Argentines by the left flank, you can actually do more. And I think you're just finding one of the Salah or Mamouche, any of them, to attack that side, if the Argentines will not reinforce that side. So I think the Argentines escaped. They were lucky, if I could put it that way, against Cape Verde, but against Egypt, I think the Egyptians would be too much for.
I don't think the Cape Verdeans, like I mean, they played world champions. They played African champions, have not lost. Yes. They played world champions, have not lost. Okay, I think probably if it's possible, we can open the lines. So we'll still be going on break, but you guys should join us. What are your takes? What have you seen? How do you assess the African teams? Do you see us? I mean, we've gone to the quarterfinals, Africa, Cameroon, Senegal, Ghana. We've gone to the semi-finals in Morocco. Are you seeing a final, or are you seeing the trophy coming back to Africa? Do you see an African team? Do you see Egypt upsetting Argentina, or and then moving to join the Moroccans and see how we can bring that trophy to Africa? Nigeria, we're thinking about qualifying in the next 4 years in 2030. That is, if we do qualify. Of course, probably before I change carry team from 48 to 64, like Okwe is saying. If you get to 64, maybe. We have how many groups in Africa? There will be 12 instead of 10 groups. We have 12 groups, and we might just do that. So the lines are open. You guys can be this. Okay. Let's talk a little bit of tennis. It is Wimbledon, and then of course in the men's side, Alcaraz is not there. Djokovic is saying I can win number 25, but Sinner we thought he was unstoppable until he's been stopped. So at the French Open, nobody's seen Zverev. Now Zverev has now won that. He's now seen himself as the confidence has to be there. I'm now one of those. It doesn't really matter. I'm a Grand Slam winner. So or do you see a dark horse coming in, to pick out?
I think for the male side of the championship, there is no upset, major upset
for now.
But for the female side, when you
Iga Swiatek.
Number 2 and number 3 seed, Rebecca.
Yes,
were taken out, and that just sent
Ila, the girl from the Philippines.
That told the world about chubby chick and scuffy socks. That I think she has given hope to a lot of Filipinos there in that country. Then the return of Serena was never.
Exactly. I think that is a big deal we should be looking about.
Never materialized because of
injury.
And yesterday, I think she showed the world the fluid that were extracted from the knee. And of course, our semi-final round of 64-32 with our sister venues had to be cancelled. And Osorio had to play another opponent, which of course they convincingly won. So for the women aspect, we've been having a lot of a sensational upset.
Sabalenka, that game should be on against Naomi Osaka.
Osaka, I think she has buried her past when it comes to this tournament. She's actually showing she's here as a serious...
With a fashion statement.
Fashion statement.
Japanese,
a carryover from Roland Garros.
Yes.
I think she's there. So let's see what happens between her and Sabalenka. Then Paulini, she's doing her thing gently, no noise.
Coco Gauff, she did that 4th round. She has not gone beyond that. But this time around,
she's there.
She's there.
You have Jessica Pegula also doing her thing. So, but again, for the British, it has not been a tournament to remember for them, with the exception of
Raducanu always.
No.
I don't know.
So it was the only English remaining, British remaining the singles, even a French-born player, that is Ferry, who with a bloody nose yesterday made it in 5 sets.
And a Nigerian kid in the junior, Shengoya, got into the main draw. And I think we'll monitor how he's doing.
Even Esther Additional lost at the qualifying, second qualifying, so she made the.
I think Esther Additional is British.
Yeah, she's British. So.
Because when she was trending, I said, let me just look up and the British are celebrating her, and then we also took it up. Question Additional, we took it up, but then she's British. So we're looking at it and look. By the time we come in on Sunday, there would have been a winner. A winner would have emerged in the female, but in the male, there will be whoever is going to take that will be. And then yesterday, also at the Grand Prix,
what Hamilton wanted, but didn't get.
Eva, then, what Hamilton wanted, and then we all see Antonelli ahead of three British drivers, and say, look, so you guys queue behind me.
They made it more of a home affair for the British guy, but that is one competition.
But today, I think it was 1, 2, 3. It was in the Barcelona Grand Prix. That's where I think it was the 3 British drivers came 1, 2, 3.
Podium.
Yeah, on the podium. And then in this case, let me say, Antonelli at 19, can he ward off all those attacks coming from Lando Norris, from Lewis Hamilton, all of them attacking, and George Russell?
One thing with Formula One is if you are not up to standard, they won't even put you in the car. So the mere fact that you are a driver that put you on equal pedestal with every other person. So it's not like football there you say under 17, under 19, So once you are you can handle the wheel and you have been registered, you are as good as any other person.
And he's turned them by winning the sprint there at Silver. He won the sprint. I mean, so
in a mode of how we used to say no grief for anybody.
So no grief for anybody. He has not agreed with them. Okay, Kain Sholaja in 9.84.
I saw that result yesterday and
9.84 from STCA, and then you say, look, I can do it.
Yeah, just like both will say that every time you put in those performances and you have doubt about him that you are being disrespectful, So I don't want to be disrespectful, but I just hope the consistency is maintained till we have the World Championship. But it's something, 9.84 is something, even my own idol, the great Carl Lewis, never did.
Never did.
He did 9.86.
9.84, and then when he did it in the colleges system, people thought probably winning it, and then winning your first ever a Diamond League race is also something to behold.
It's a fast time. It's fast.
Okay, like I said, I want to see if you guys can actually join the show and let us see. Your take, because it is the World Cup. We've gone trying to go around the other sports, looking at the whatever is happening. All right, but I'm being told that yes, it is time for us to take a break. But when we come back, just get ready and stay with us. It's the Channel Sport Inside. Okay, you're welcome back to Channel Sport on Sunday. And Jimmy has just joined the house. Hello, Jimmy, how are you?
Yeah, a very pleasure to be here. And it's been a World Cup of very interesting tales. And it's so nice to see at least two African countries being able to get to the round of 16.
All right. Well, before Jimmy joined us, so that they can hear him well. Before they can hear him well. But like I said, the lines are open. You guys can join the show now. I'll be part of the show. We'll send you the number right there on the system. You can call in and let us have your opinion. It is not just we enjoying the World Cup. It is your World Cup. Nigeria might not be there, but Africa is there. The pioneers. When we were just talking about Cape Verde doing the house, when we went there in 1994 and on our first time, we did we know what we did. We defeated teams in our group. Of course, we were with Argentina. We were with Greece, and we were with Bulgaria. We defeated Bulgaria. We lost to Argentina. We defeated Greece. A lot of celebrations. The great Yekini was there. Dana Mokachi. I'm not trying to remember the goal scorers who were there. Dana Mokachi scored, Finidi scored, Yekini scored, Amunike scored. I mean, it was just a step of, everybody was just enjoying themselves. Samson Siasia. Oh, against Argentina. It was, a chip above, a chip of a goal that he scored against Argentina. So, there are a lot of things that we want to remember and say, look, this is it. We've done it. And then a lot of African teams coming. We saw Cameroon going there, right there. The derby unbeaten. When they went in 82, they play all three games just like the Cape Verde of Cup. They lost the next one to England. In that first encounter, it was go ahead, and then they conceded penalty, and stuff. So Algeria, Tunisia, there are a lot of games that you look back to and said, Algeria taking on Western Germany, Tunisia taking on Mexico. So but the highlight has been in the last World Cup where we got to the semi-finals to beat Spain and beat Portugal, and to reward. Okay, all right. Hello. All right. Okay. Like I'm trying to say, to reward Morocco. they gave them the two countries that they beat, Spain and Portugal, as co-hosts of 2030. Jimmy.
and interestingly, they are practically neighbors.
It is the Iberian Peninsula.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think about Morocco, when you consider what they have been able to do in terms of the long-term investment, not only in infrastructure, also in terms of the continuity. You know, they have the FA being, very adept at what they do, and you can see the progression from the youth, and also the fact that they could have Regraoui leave the mantle, and then YB comes in and is still able to do the job. That tells you the tale about consistency, and Morocco are no flukes. And what they've been able to do is to show that they are contenders. They are not just pretenders. They are not just in there to come and make up the numbers. And once you have that, what that means basically is Africa will continue to be in the reckoning just based on what Morocco is able to do. We've seen what Cape Verde had been able to do. When you consider the fact that maybe the players from Cape Verde, I think the only one, Logan Costa, is one that comes from Villarreal. All the others from Trabzonspor and all that. The goalkeeper, 40-year-old.
It doesn't really matter when you come, like we are saying. Exactly.
It could matter.
No, what I mean is,
I know you are trying to
showing.
By that showing. So
no, I'm agreeing with you.
I agree. I understand where you are coming from. So if you look at the tenacity, the purpose-driven nature of the African teams that were able to show themselves. I mean, I would rate Congo highly, despite the fact they lost out to England. I would rate Cape Verde highly, Morocco, Egypt. At a point, I thought, okay, Côte d'Ivoire could get it done. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the business done. You saw what happened with Belgium. Very sad way for Senegal. Senegal has been touted as the best team in the past 3-4 years on the African continent, apart from Morocco. For them to go out the way they did speaks a lot about whether the mentality, the African mentality, is not right going ahead.
I'm not talking about the African mentality in such a way, because...
physically we are strong.
No, so I know.
The question is, the game management angle to it has to do with mentality.
But
when you are ahead, what do you do to protect your league?
Check the last World Cup final between Argentina and France. And see when goals were being considered. You understand? Check the Germans were the defending champions in 1994. How did Bulgaria knock them out? They were letting Bulgaria up to the last minute. And that is a great German team. The Germans we say if the German team are playing, when they score you, you go nowhere. It's like the Italians, slinging up and stuff like that. So it happened. When say I'm not, it is peculiar to Africa. I don't want to believe it is peculiar to Africa. I've seen great comebacks, last minute goals everywhere. I mean, when we're talking about the Fergie time, it happens.
I think for Senegal is a match they dominated.
Yes.
And I think that's where it ought. It's not that it was a match
they dominated. They had the goals. They had everything going.
They could have even gone 3 goals up.
Or maybe 4.
So for me, I think the flop of this whole thing, I have to pick out the Black Stars. I don't even want to understand.
So they had only 4 shots. 4 shots on target.
On target. In their last match,
is it in terms of the results or in terms of the
performance and everything?
Performance. No shot on target in their last match. The one they lost to.
They celebrated when they got that draw.
But they have Semenyo.
He had no shot on target. All tournament.
Semenyo can create. Semenyo is not the hitman. Semenyo is the creator. Semenyo is the man that is roving around.
Looking for all this problem.
So I think for me, you can't play 4 matches going to the World Cup and having 4 shots.
That's an average of a shot, an average of a shot per game.
The last match, the one they played against Sudan in their round of 16. No shot on target.
We talked about that resilience in how they were able to hold the English, right? So you are talking about the Colombian game, where even Colombia did not even play as well as they could on that good day. That's the worry for me.
No. I think for me, the Colombians, they had their group finals in their group stage. And,
I'm not even talking about the group stage performance. I'm talking about on the day, the quality
let's take it this way.
Yeah.
Your take on South Africa?
Oh, dismal. I expected a lot more from them. Forget all the... We understand the seeming bad blood, between the African neighbors and themselves, but in terms of the quality of play that I believe that they could come up with, I think their performance was dismal. Very
I mean, very abhorrent the way they play.
But they got a round of 16.
No, round of 32.
They got into the round of 32, but even getting into the round of the 32, I mean, I don't think that they really proved that
they did beat South Korea. They beat South Korea.
The South Korea play well during this competition.
South Korea is a force to
Japan. I'm not talking about Japan
in football.
Because of the antecedents.
The South Africa of 2010 is better than this squad.
Okay, we'll talk about Cape Verde. What the bench? The bench.
Yeah, I think I saw a team that been together for a long time. They virtually could close their eyes and show those passes, and it was not an happenstance. It was, for them, it was not a flash in the pan. It was something that was built up from the Cape Verdean side we saw from AFCON. I recall even the last 2022, they could have qualified ahead of us.
Yeah.
All they needed was a win year, and of course they got a draw. So it's a team, except you have not been familiar with AFCON, that you think they just came from nowhere. No, they've never come.
And the manager has been in charge since 2020.
Yes. So
absolutely.
Since 2020, he captained the national side.
Yeah.
So he played for the national side, captained the national side. It's like a Keshi all over again.
All over again.
Okay.
You know why I'm the most excited about Cape Verde? What they were able to do.
Yeah.
You know, you consider the clubs they play in, you consider the ages, you consider the tenacity of play.
But you said about 31
years.
97 days.
The oldest squad ever to play.
So when they get into debut competitions, that's what they do. In 2013, it was the same they did when they qualified for, you know, the AFCON in 2013, when we won it, and they got into the quarterfinals. That was shocking to everybody. That's the first time a lot of people heard about.
So it is not about the dog in the fight.
It's about the fight in the dog. Absolutely.
All right, I'll stay with you. DR Congo.
I think I respect the craft. They really put out a shift, though when it did matter most, maybe they lacked quality that could see them through. But I think throughout the competition, they showed some form of stability. That goalkeeper Mpase was wonderful.
Were they outplayed by England?
Maybe
outcaned by England.
It
was a moment of drop.
Especially in the first half.
That second goal, a no-look shot from nowhere, and bam. So that
absolutely. By King Kane.
Okay, you talked about Ghana. They changed to Carlos Queiroz. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, a foreign coach with reputation. He has coached Madrid. He has coached everywhere. 4 shots on goal in 4 games.
Yeah, when you get a Queiroz, you know what to expect. And
a defensive, defensive
mindset, and he gave them that.
Because they said they were leaking goals in friendly, so
exactly.
They
needed somebody with that defensive.
They were leaking goals in friendlies. That's why they sacked him.
You saw even the captain Jordan Ayew. He was just more like a ghost player in that match and against Colombia. So that outing against Colombia is an outing that we even take away from the slot of Africa. They never did African pride. They never did African
pride. That's deep.
Cote d'Ivoire.
I was disappointed because I expected a lot more from them. Forget the names, the Kessis, the Diomande, and all the whatnots, but I actually felt they could give more.
Overall, all the games they performed. I mean,
I think they did a little well, not exceptional, but I think they did quite well. They have this flair that they normally play with, and unfortunately they couldn't, when it mattered most, put the trigger.
Senegal.
The most disappointing thing. How could you go 2 goals up and allow the number of goals you shipped in, and eventually you are out of the competition?
I remember. Can you believe it? Chelsea were 2 goals up, and then.
Against
an average 3 goals. Marco scored 3 goals against them.
Against an average Belgian. I mean, it's very discouraging.
They had a Lukaku that has scored 93 goals on his national side, and he's still scoring. He will score 100.
It looks like you are now looking at the stars in the team. It's not about the stars in the team. We're talking about the quality.
It is the stars that make up the team.
They made the difference, right? Yes. But if you look at the quality of play, especially when they were, trying to back foot, and the Belgians got in the ascendancy to score those goals. I mean, you have to blame the Senegalese. You have to blame not only the coaches, also the players.
Okay, so game management. Tunisia.
Did they even play? Can you remember that? Can you remember that?
The worst African side, and of course, they also pressed the panic button by sacking the Sabri Lamouchi after
Mid
the
and then the man that came in didn't. There was no difference.
And they did the same thing when they hosted the Nations Cup.
That's the second time they are doing it.
No, maybe they wanted
sacking a coach in the middle of the competition. And twice they've done it, and twice they got no results.
So I think they actually need Erichelle more than Nigeria.
Algeria.
Well, not so good a performance, but at the end of the day, they are out. The performance, relatively, I don't think it's anything to really wax about, either lyrically or otherwise.
Okay. Egypt.
Yeah, the Cinderella story continues, as we said, for a team yet to get
out of the group stages. Win. And they got their first win at the first qualification.
When they came back in 1990, they were unfortunate to be in the toughest group. They were there with England, Holland, the European champion, and Ireland, and it was that group that everybody drew with everybody. The only exceptional result was them losing, I think, to England, and that was why they could not qualify in 1990 when we still have the best third qualifying. So they came back last Qatar, of course, Salah having not been match fit. But again, this time, they bounced back from the disappointment after losing in their group stage to be where they are. And I think they put up a decent performance.
And also being led by Ozan.
A very defensive performance. Where something Mourinho will say, go to Harvard to study that the likes of BBC will actually teach you defensive class in Harvard. So bearing that own goal, I think they curtail the Australians beautifully.
Okay, like I did say, defensive masterclass. And also, we are trying to forget the fact that in terms of history, they are the most storied African side. Whether playing for the national team, they have the best team nationally, seven AFCONs. Also, in terms of the club side, Al Ahly is the greatest African club side. So it says a lot about, the Egyptian cause. So they always have, the urge to want to go ahead. But when they play on the globally, it's not usually the case. But maybe maybe they
were the first to go there since 1934 to 2026.
Absolutely.
All right. What was about Morocco? Africa has won eight knockout.
Africa's best.
8 knockout games at the World Cup. They have four. They have 4.
Africa's best.
No, I mean, we don't talk about Morocco.
So Ken, if you are talking about penalty as being won, so when you lose, you should also be magnanimous to say you've lost.
Hey, okay, where is that coming from? Okay, defend yourself.
They've come a long way. They've actually come a long way.
Allow Ken to defend himself.
I cannot defend myself. I'm
from losing to West Germany in Mexico 86 in the second round, being the first African side to actually get there. They've come a long way.
Mohamed 6.
Good things
long-term
investment for them. So and that was why when players who were even born in Europe who come back.
Of course, I mean, Hakimi and
they are starting 11 in their first match. We're all born outside.
So when Nigeria, that is the thing. Sometimes in Nigeria we have this coloration. They will tell you, foreign. See,
there's a difference.
Your team.
When the foreign side guys, when they come back and they are actually seeing the same standard of facility, social facility,
exactly,
they will be
because there is administrative competence over there. The difference is here. We have our own malfeasance.
See, I think more. I'm trying to get it because it is not just in our football.
Yep.
There is too much politicking. There is too much tribal based. There is too much, a lot of, we emphasize too much on the things that divide us. That you cannot come and critique a government, critique an administration, critique a board, and people will not say, you are coming from, a personal, not a puristic point.
Maybe you are being paid by
of
traducers.
course, you are being and stuff like that. That you are afraid to have an opinion, because when you do that, you are branded as being against the system.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are a system that is failing and you cannot talk about it, and the people do not in any way classify you or colorize you or kind of segment you to say these are they are the people, and then we allow the fleece, we allow the list, we have this list to continue, and that is the thing.
Well, again, some are so glaring when a security chief is saying my son must be in the under-17 squad.
Yeah, so it is things that cannot happen in most areas that are happening here, and that is exactly what we are saying. So, like you said, if an aircraft Hakimi came in, if a Diaz came from Spain, and then he now comes into Morocco and see that the facilities, like you said, that they have there is not better. You can see that the remuneration is not better. That it is at when due. It's as at now, the president promised some $100,000. It is getting to one year, and it is the story they are going to tell. And then when you ask them, if anybody opens their mouth to ask them, why is this money not being paid, either they shut you out or stuff like that.
Okay, for me, the idea of Chel taking up the mantle of the under-23 and the national team together is not only a deal, a dead on arrival idea, because I do not think it's been well thought out. I do not think it operates that way in other clients, and I also think it's against national interest. I always talk about strategic national interest. Why would you have a manager that not, excelled, that did not qualify you for the work, regardless of how you want to look at it? Why do you now saddle the person with extra responsibilities? I mean, it's very...
It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. For us, we don't look at developmental, we look at competition.
Exactly.
Europe, I was looking at the profile of Alphonsus Davies yesterday, and I saw he played under 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So all these ones, you don't have FIFA competition for them. But they are just developmental stages of their national team. So
because they have established pathways.
We are looking at just competition. Okay, we have competition for under 23. So we don't have under 19, so we don't have any under 19 team. We don't have under 14, we don't have under 18. So we only have national team for where we have FIFA graded competition.
Exactly.
So that is why you could just plug your national team manager, go and handle under 23 side. But if we had that developmental strata,
you guys, you see, there used to be a time where anybody managing the national team, when a Nigerian club side is playing in Europe, they will second. Just because you're handling the national team. It's like a Mourinho now handling a club, a Benfica. You now say, let the national team coach of Portugal go there. You see, when you certain things are just sometimes you look for the word to describe it.
They're more like military government. So you are just the military administrator say, look, let's get Amadu Shuaibu to
go to 3SC. 3SC is going to go.
Again, Ken, so that we don't appear late on this matter. How do you go from clubs being able to pay 150 and they struggle to say the clubs can pay 2 billion without you? Sorry, 2 million naira per month without you showing what financial model.
I think we should. We have 60 seconds to go. I think we should be able to bring after the World Cup. I think that is when we concentrate more on our local league. We bring in the people at the board members. We'll talk to them, and then everybody will be here. We'll go in now. Your take on the day.
So the World Cup is also another reminder for our administrators to do us right, to make sure that in 2029 we will not be complaining, just like we are right now.
Okay, in 2031 we'll be complaining.
2029 we'll qualify for 2030
so in 2030 we'll be complaining.
Yeah. So I think we should there is no eighth wonder of the world anyway.
Okay.
Let's tick the boxes. The league then we're talking about bank guarantees to ensure you can fulfill your obligations. So I think those kind of things, they are too material to be waived.
Too material to be waived. It is the World Cup. By the time we're on Sunday next week, we should be talking about the finals of Wimbledon. We're looking about people the semi-finalists of the World Cup that appeared. And then, like Jimmy said, 2029 is still far. We don't bother ourselves. Let's just enjoy 2026. I'm Ken Ochonogo. God bless Nigeria.